Greetings. Welcome back to the Green Garden Guy channel. Old friends. Yeah, nothing like them. Right, Gracie? Yeah, yeah, there's just no way to replace old friends. I think they're special, probably because of time and shared experiences, you know, and you've known somebody since you were a child, you know, you grow up together, you maybe have, your first double dates together and blah, blah, blah. And all these first experiences and you have shared memory that makes it special. I can make new friends. I make new friends. I have a few people I've met since I moved here to Hawaii that I'm pretty close to. And it's nice, and I'm glad they're there because I have very few old friends left anymore. This is the problem with growing old. Yeah, all those people that you knew and loved. Oftentimes, if you're healthy, strong, and long-lived, you outlive them all, and so they'll disappear before you do. I don't know about Gracie here, my cat. She's a relatively new friend, I guess. About 3-4 years ago there, whatever, she came into our lives. But I guess cats, they don't live very long anyway. They have short spans connecting to human lifespans, which are much longer. And so I guess having known her for that long means Gracie is an old friend when it comes to a cat. There are times, too, though, when I think I really have the feeling that I've known her for longer than that. She reminds me so much of the gray cat Bonnie that was my nursery cat in California, who passed away after 20 years. Sometimes I think Gracie is the reincarnation of Bonnie, who just finally wandered over here to find Bill again. I don't know. Yeah, well, whatever. So, well, yeah, I mean, to me, the term friends, this is special. Okay, now, old friends, that's really special, but friends, I don't make friends easily. No. Sorry, it's just the way it is. To me, friend has to be organic. Yeah, it's something that just sort of happens and grows. I do not ever recall in my life, ever once, saying, I want to be that guy's friend. Okay. Oh, I don't really remember that, at least consciously. Could have been unconscious, but no, these things just seem to kind of happen. They grow as affinities that develop, and people find themselves suddenly as friends. And it doesn't always start off, on a, hey, you're a nice guy note, I want to be your friend either. One of my best friends is a boy. The first thing that guy ever said to me is, you're the worst softball player I have ever seen. Yeah. You might call it an insult, except that was not the case with George. He didn't have a lot of malice in his heart. George was brutally honest. That was it. It was why I liked him. It was why my mother trusted him, too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, we grew to be great friends. When you've known somebody 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, things, and they're still there, it does develop into a special quality that just can't be replaced. The idea of friends on Facebook, for instance, was something that I always found slightly offensive, to the point of almost being obscene. I have people trying to friend me when I was on there. I'm not there anymore. Okay, don't try it. But, Oh, hi, I want to friend you. Who the hell are you? You know, I don't know who you are. I don't know. I'd be your friend. It weakens the term. It dilutes the word, in my opinion, into something that is more meaningless. Yeah, you know. To me, a friend will stand up for you. Yeah. Friend will look out for you when times are down. Yeah. Friend to be there. You know. Yeah. That ain't the people on Facebook. Yeah. Oh God. Darn. Ooh, this is bad, Gracie. My eyes are tearing awful. Ah, oh, man. Shit. Yeah, so last night I was sitting at the table and fiddling with something, I don't know, reading the manual for my new stove and boring myself to death, about ready to fall asleep on it. When the phone rings, I walk over and look. Oh, it's Mac Reitz. Yes, Mac. Oh, Mac. Uh, Mac's a real important friend. Yeah, I hear from him periodically. He's a long distance away now. Mac lives in Florida. I live in Hawaii. You know, we both met when we lived in Illinois. Went to high school together. I think Mac came to my school from Kankakee, Illinois, when I was a sophomore or a junior. And it was spontaneous and organic. I don't know. It was just something about Mac, and it wasn't just me either. A lot of the guys I hung with, you know, that everybody. Oh yeah, we like Mac. Yeah, Mac very immediately became part of a group of people. Most of us were musicians. We were aspiring to be rock and rollers, you know, in high school. And Mac was bass player. And to this day, Mac is a bass player. He has, and I think still does, play in as much as a half dozen different bands at the same time. Yeah, everybody wants Mac. He's good. Yeah, Mac's also been a bartender most of his life, and so he's got the kind of personality, you know. Tell me about it, you know. Uh, and he's run his own bar and club, too, yeah, music club. But yeah, Mac called last night. He will do this every now and then, 6 months to a year, I guess. You know, I've known him since I was probably 16 years old or so, and you know, ever since we separated, Mac will call. And Mac does that with almost everybody else that was in a group of people that we hung with. Yeah, yeah. Mac would be the hub. It was the communication network for everybody. You know, Mac would call everybody up and once a year at least and talk with them and see how things are going, and then call me, you know, and talk to me, and I'd say, well, how's Jackie doing, you know, and oh, well, blah, blah, and, you know, yeah, and Mac was very important that way. Well, you know, it's getting to the point now. Well, Mac calls me up. But he ain't talked to anybody else because they're all dead. Yeah, yeah, it's a fact. They're gone, and so the networking that was Mac is becoming very small. It's very small. And then questions, you know, about, well, you know, have you heard anything from Randy, right? You know, and Mac and oh no, about 30 years ago now, I think, you know, he touched bases with me. I'm going, yeah, same here, man, but you know, I had a dream he died the other night, and I was given a eulogy at his funeral, and that's usually important when I do that. And so I tried to find him, and all records of the family have disappeared. That is weird. There's nothing out there. Not his sister, not his dad's construction company that I once worked for, etc., etc. Not in either two geographical locations where I know that they existed, etc. The name doesn't even Google. So I don't know. Were my friends CIA plants? You know, were they working for the Soviets? What happened? Somebody erased them. Yeah, but anyhow, so Mac and I are talking, and well, like I said, we got a lot of shared experiences, a lot, and well, I know after a bit, I had asked him if he thought that people around him seemed to be going into a cognitive decline. Mac goes, "You think?" I go, "Really, Mac?" He goes, "Oh, man." He says, "You know, we have to hire and fire people in the bands and so on and so forth." He says, "Man, if people are getting to be like zombies, it's like there's nobody home. They're not thinking at all." I go, "Yeah, I'm having that similar problem. The water department isn't cashing my checks when I pay the water bill and claiming I didn't send them. The DMV isn't cashing the checks for my licenses on my car, you know, and they find him sitting in the back room. I'm beginning to believe that on UPS, that second day air, what second day air UPS means is that some airhead is going to lose your stuff for at least 2 days before it finally gets to the house." So it's been happening to me. UPS here on the island is literally falling apart. So, you know, yeah, so we talked for a while on that, and well, again, shared experiences. You know, we grew up together. We've seen the world through our eyes in sort of similar ways, you know, in similar times, and Max sees it too. There's something bad happening. I still put my finger on COVID, that the anxiety, depression, and PTSD that was caused by that virus when people's gut floras were wiped out and damaged by it, that is possibly one of the reasons. I also put my finger on social media, AIs. It's not my cat's fault. There she goes. She was waiting to get in the camera and got tired. Bye, Gracie. There she goes. Yeah. So, yeah, we had that talk for a while. And, well, we got into it a bit. And, well, see, this is old friends again. Mac and I have very similar experiences in life. And what he sees, I see. And when we speak of these things that are a little bit remote, the idea that the entire United States is going into a cognitive decline at the moment is a pretty radical thought. And sometimes old friends who have same experiences will see same things, even though they might be pretty strange. This is one of them. We both see it. We both see it. And it's scary, and we don't know why exactly. Not totally. Like I said, I do figure social media, AIs, and COVID are a big part of it. Yeah, well, anyway, so then I guess that emboldened my buddy last night, who then stepped forward and said, "You know, I'm looking at what these guys are doing in Washington," and he says, "To me, it looks like they are intentionally trying to damage the country." I said, "Yeah, Mac, I'm glad to hear that you noticed that," because I was beginning to think I was the only one that they were, by tariffs, trying to put the American farmer back into the Great Depression, which is where it started in the 1920s and only spread to the rest of us in the cities by the 30s. Yeah, they're hammering the American farmer and killing him at the moment with what they've been doing. And so much of the activity that they're engaging in seems to be creating a state of chaos. They're agents of chaos and breaking things down so that they can then come back around with their solutions and become savior. And the program is pretty much the same one that was written by Joe Goebbels for Adolf Hitler. Only major difference in this one is that the Allies destroyed Germany and brought it to its knees after World War One, and so it was destroyed by external forces because of the war. In this case, we seem to be doing it internally. Yes, an artificial situation. Well, Mac's seeing it too, and I said, congratulations, buddy. You're awake. Yeah. A lot of people have not seen this at all. They just don't see it. Even my cat here. Yeah, cat. Gracie knows, right, Gracie?
Yep. Yeah, she come back out of the woods. Nothing out there today, huh? You all wet? Yeah, you're a little bit damp.
Yeah. Gracie, you're sitting in a pile of quicklime. That might hurt your paws.
Okay. Alright, well, aloha all. Nothing like friends, huh? Even if it happens to be a gray cat. This gray cat is one good friend, really. By standards that I judge friends, Gracie is top notch. Aloha, folks. Hang loose.